God, I love your intro. I love the
Thank
intro.
you. Hey guys, it's Matt Courtright with the Rugby 100 Club, and we got Paul in the house.
Yes,
2
sir.
Mondays in a row, buddy.
Heck yeah, I'm excited to get this thing started. Couple more weeks, man. Just a couple more.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I've had treatment, so I'm not on my polished self today. So those watching, it's been I'm a little loopy, but hey, you're gonna get me in rare form, if you will. Normally, I just am a big old, you know, bump on a log for a week, and I don't do much. And but today we are with Paul, and we are having fun. We're talking about 2 teams up and coming in the MLR, and perspectives of how the players are going to influence the season.
All right, let's talk about Seattle. Seattle Seawolves, your team. All right. So
Man.
first off, want to start with Larome White, who I think can be very good in his return to the Seawolves. Matt, if you want to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, Larome White started with Seattle Seawolves in 2018. Went and is a championship member himself. They won that season. Larome then went off to AG, and then went off to Chicago, because hence Sam Harris was a coach. And then he went to Houston, and now he has returned back to Seattle, where he started it all. He is from Kentucky, and he's very professional, carries himself very well, but yet knows how to have a good time. But the guy's got a smile that lights up a room too, by the way. Just a fun person to be around in general.
Good at rugby and a great personality. Nothing better than that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Next up, DeWald Coatsy.
Yeah. A hooker. Yeah,
Yes,
he's
the hooker.
returning.
He is returning to the Seattle Seawolves. He's got a lot of experience at the hook position, should bring a lot of just veteran presence, a lot of leadership, a lot of that kind of stuff, which is obviously very important in a league that's 8 years old, roughly.
Right. Right.
8 years in or the league is 8 years old, and having a guy as experienced as DeWald Coatsy is a huge advantage to any team's locker room.
Yeah, in the off season, he was playing for Canada, representing his country as the hooker. Him and
That is very cool.
Brock Gallagher too. He was on the Seawolves last year. They both represented Canada.
He also, I'm not sure if you know this, but in 2024, he had one of the MLR's best hooker seasons. He played in 17 games. He had 16 starts. He only scored 11 tries. I mean, that's it. 16 starts,
Wow.
11 tries, almost one per game, and had over 160 tackles, which is nuts. 16 starts, 160 tackles, more than 10 tackles per game. That's a wild number.
Yeah, he was playing for Dallas when I first noticed him, and they came to Seattle, and they just put the screws to Seattle, man. They just beat him down, and he was the leading scorer of that game. And then the next season, unfortunately, Dallas dissolved, and we got him, and I was so giddy, because the front row of Seattle notoriously gets tired throughout the season, gets beat up, and to see DeWald there, that just beat the snot out of us, become a team member, I was excited as the day was long, man.
Sure. And he should be awesome in that tight five. We'll see what happens with that. Next player, Rhino Herbst, one of the
Yeah.
coolest names in the MLR, let alone ever. Who wouldn't? What better name is there for a rugby player?
Dallin gave him a nickname of Frankenstein, and it stuck. It's so funny, but Reno is
His name's Rhino and his nickname's Frank. That he's
yeah,
built to be a rugby player. That's just it.
yeah, yeah. He
He's gonna
actually,
run through you. He's gonna take you down. He's gonna do what he needs to do because one, his name's Rhino, and two, he just can. So he's
he's
going to.
very consistent. He's very consistent on the pitch. He's a he's always held up well by his teammates. He's a guy's guy. Yeah, he's got a young kid, married. Absolutely spectacle of a human. He actually works for Riekert Hatting, and they do construction. Funny enough.
His name's Rhino. He does construction and he plays rugby. Like that's just that doesn't seem like a real human.
Yeah, right. Just makes you want to drink a beer with the man. Just saying. Yeah.
He's got to have stories. That's all I know.
Yeah, you know who's also a really cool returning player to Seattle is Sean McNulty. Sean was with LA Giltinis back in the day. Then he came to Seattle. Fun fact is we were in this hotel, the team, and Jen and I just happened to pick the right one. And we were El Segundo, right? We got that old school song called I Lost My Wallet in El Segundo. So we're in El Segundo, and they have a bunch of swag and pictures up of the LA Giltinis at the time. And it was the last game in the LA Coliseum, funny enough. And there was pictures of Sean all over. Well, went back, I want to say 2 years later, to go see LA RFC ABCDEFG and and go to my 80th MLR game last season with Sam Harris coaching backs, and those same pictures were there. And so when I saw Sean on Wednesday earlier for the season ticket event, it was so good to see him. I hate the fact that Miami didn't work out because, let's be honest, the weather's a little bit sunnier than Seattle. But to know that we have some depth at the hooker position is just clutch. Absolutely.
And the hooker position is so important in rugby.
Yeah.
It's such a pivotal spot. It can really carry or destroy your team having a great or awful hooker.
Yeah. Who else are you highlighting on this team?
JP Smith is next. He's one of the scrum halves on that team. If you want to take that away, I know he's a big man in Seattle.
Yeah. So JP Smith, he came up here, South Africa, and he since has become a U.S. citizen. He came in 2019. Last season, he celebrated his 100th cap. There is a reel on the social medias of Rugby 100 Club of him being interviewed last Wednesday. He did a pretty good job. You can tell that he is new or uncomfortable in front of on the mic and in front of the camera, but I felt like he did a really good job. He's going to have to get used to it. The guy is really talented. He's somebody that you definitely want to interact with because he's just calm. Well, I mean, 100 caps in the MLR last season, and he must have started 94 of those 100 games, right? So like injury, he's really escaped injury very well and or learned how to play with injury very well. He's very seasoned. I don't know that he's any more seasoned than the other scrum halves. So, you got Nick Boyer there and you got Andre Warren, and they're both seasoned too. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch them battle out at scrum half.
I do have one question going back to JP Smith. How many of his games are with Seattle?
All of them.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, he's
having 100. First player to ever get to 100 appearances for one team. That's
the
awesome.
loyalty has been thick, and that's part of his interview. He describes why he's been with Seattle in a sense.
That'd be cool to see. Definitely go back to that if you haven't already. Next, we've got Dan Creel. You can take it away on that one too.
Okay, yeah. So Dan Creel, he is also from South Africa. Matter of fact, they're down there right now. The whole team is in his native town. They're in Cape Town. So they're practicing with the Stormers right now. Dan Creel's twin brother is Jesse Creel. For those that don't know, he plays for his country and has played in, plenty of games. Jeez whiz. And he just happened to be there too. So it was fun to see him with his brother and him and his wife. So Dan Creel and his wife, Candace Creel, have a Happy Bundles, which is a nonprofit where they collect toys and gifts for children with cancer that are going through hard times and trying to keep their spirits up and try to keep the energy up, because Candace in the past had a massive cancer scare and that brought attention to it, and she felt there was a spot where that kind of kindness was needed. And since they both have really gone above and beyond to fill that void, that has been well received, and it's fun to watch. Annually, she'll get the Seawolves to promote, and boys will all go in, and they'll say hi. They'll go in a couple times a year and bring balloons or just read stories to the kids and just be present and treat them like normal people instead of what they're going through and take their minds off of the negativity.
That's
Pretty
really
cool.
cool. That's really cool. Not just pretty cool. That's awesome. Anytime you can make a child's probably shortened life that much better, that's fantastic. That's awesome for Dan. Awesome for his wife. Nothing better than a rugby player who's also awesome off of the pitch. Dan Creel, the man, the myth, the legend. Next, we got one of the wings. We're going to move on to. I'm going to butcher his name. I think Lawina Futi.
Yeah, he goes by Ina. Ina Fudi, he's a local legend, and again, another Eagle, just like JP Smith. He's played at the highest level, continues to. It's been fun. I've known Fudi for a long time. So Fudi started with Valley Kangaroos, and he got better and better. Next thing you know, he went from D2 to D1 with Seattle Orcas, which is the local rugby club too. Kevin Flynn, plug. It's his baby. And so Ina's played for and supports a lot of local club rugby. And then he's been playing for Seattle now for man, I want to say 4 years. And it's fun to watch him progress. He's definitely a lot faster, quicker, stronger, built to hurt. He's built to hurt too, because he's small in size, but man, he's got a lion heart. So and he doesn't hold back. He's fun to watch play. He's exciting.
Not so small, and looks like he's got the mane of a lion, just red hair. Michael Hand II, one of my favorite players. I love Handy. He was a Chicago Hound last year, comes to the team first year in Seattle, and I expect great things out of the guy. He's massive. He's a big man. He's 6'4", 6'5", fast as lightning, super strong. I expect great things out of him on the field and off the field. Wish he got more opportunity in Chicago, as I think he really could have been a big difference maker. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. He was injured for part of the season last year. Doesn't help. And again, dude's just an awesome dude and a great rugby player. He's just got to get the minutes to show it, because he can really show it. He's a great tackler. He runs fast. He can move. Dude's going to be a fantastic rugby player. Matt, I don't know if you want to include anything. I know you met him once or twice.
Yeah, no, Michael Hand, again, I got another, I did lunch with him and Pago and got to ask him, like, so what's your nickname? And we go into his nickname in the episode. It's pretty cool. It's right at the beginning, so you don't even have to watch a whole lot for those. Yeah, so check that out. Yeah, Michael Hand, man, he goes by the nickname Handy because he's actually Hand the second. He was named after his uncle. That's why he's got the 2. And when they started putting names on the back, it looks like Handy. So all these nicknames came flying out, as you can imagine. Some of us thinking that we're still 12 years old on the elementary school, grounds. And yeah, great guy. Met him while we were doing an assembly in Tacoma, Washington, at an elementary school, spreading the good word of rugby and the Seawolves. It was a great time. Good guy.
And then finally, last player returning is Devon Rousseau. I believe he's returning, correct?
Yes, he is that. Yeah, he's down at home, and then met the team over in Cape Town the other day.
He was 2025's Coach's Player of the Year. Pretty darn cool. He was also a first 15 selection, so awesome experience at the fullback position for the Seattle Seawolves. Should make a big impact this season as well. Over his career, he's played in 35 games with 33 starts. He's got 14 tries in those starts with almost 2,500 meters gained. Yeah, we talk meters here, which I don't love, but it is what it is. He's also made 222 tackles and put up 72 points. He's been great offensively and defensively. Dude should make a massive impact for Seattle once again this season.
Yeah, he was clutch last year, man. He's just fun to watch play too, because him and Duncan, both those fullbacks are absolutely fearless. Fearless. Like, you watch them, I don't know, man. They're fun to watch because then they'll break away. Man, how many did you say he scored?
Over his career, I don't have season numbers, but over his career, he's got 14 tries. So 2 seasons, 14 tries.
Yeah, I mean, that says a lot right there. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. One every other game, roughly. That's pretty darn good. Especially because there's 15 guys on the pitch, and you're not always going to score all of them, obviously.
Right.
And then going over the Houston players that are coming to Seattle, you've got Ezekiel Lindenmuth, one of the props. You've got Marco Retalingus, I think is the pronunciation of that man's last name. Not 100% sure on that one. One of the back row guys. You've also got Davey Coutzer, something like that. I'm going to struggle with these names as they're not the easiest. And then Andre Warner, one of the other guys coming from Houston. Former Houston Sabercat. Never really got any minutes, unfortunately, but he can make a massive impact with the Seattle Seawolves. He will likely be a reserve player. He might see the pitch a couple of games, see a couple of minutes here and there kind of thing. But he's another guy. If he gets his minutes, he's going to be quite impressive. Large man, should be a great fella. And then you got Marno. Not even going to say his last name this time. Learned from that mistake. Very physical player, very physical force. Almost 150 tackles last year. Also started in the championship game last year. Plays the flanker and the lock, so he brings some versatility as well. And then you've got Davey Coutzer. He put up 358 career points. I believe he's played for about 3, maybe 4 years. 51 appearances, 50 starts, 18 tries, and 2,600 meters gained. Another very high impact offensive player. And then Andre Warner, once again, he's proved himself to be one of the most reliable scrum halves in the league. And he starts pretty much every week, and he doesn't really miss much time. So that's obviously another great player to have on your squad. Now, going over the rookies, Matt, if you wanted to pull that up real quick.
Oh, my bad.
All good, man. All right, so you've got the 6 rookies that they're bringing to the season this year. That man on the top left is Harrison Mataele. Probably mispronouncing that name as well. And then you've also got Matthias Douglas, who is on the top right. Ti Veveo, something like that. And then Charles Walsh, Keelan Coyle, and Kelvin Liluamaga, who actually got drafted 2 years ago, but he never got his start last year or appearance, so hopefully he'll get some appearances this year. But to go over those guys, Harrison Mataele, he stands so much taller than you and I. I don't know how tall you are, but I know you're not as tall as he is. Dude's 6'8". He is a massive, massive man. 253 pounds at 6'8". That's just going to be, he's going to hurt. That's all I know.
Shadow. Him and Ezekiel were hanging out, and I asked him to introduce themselves in one of my reels that I just posted, and yeah, he is a tall human, not real talkative either. But in his defense, he didn't know a single person in the room, so there's that.
That's fair. I bet you once he gets to know everybody, he'll be a little bit more talkative. I'd hate to get in that man's way. He doesn't need to talk, to be honest. Yeah. He's going to run you over, so what's it matter? He's just going to run you over. He's going to tackle you. You're not going to get through him. He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. He is just going to be a massive impact to that team. Next up, we got Matthias Douglas, fast as lightning. Not as strong or as large as Mataele, but he is very, very fast, like lightning. He reminds me, I don't know how many of you watch football, but he reminds me of David Hester. When the ball is in that man's hands, he has a knack for scoring. It's not like he'll get around you. He is going to get around you. If he can't get around you, he can run you over. He's not going to do that more often than not, but he can run around you. He played for Italy's under-23 team. He also played for Italy's sevens team. So he brings a lot of experience in that fast game. He brings a lot of conditioning. He'll be on the pitch for a long time on the outside. And like I said, he's just going to run right past you. And then onto the selections of the Seattle Seawolves. You've got Ti Vevo, I think that's how you pronounce it, who was the first pick in 2025. His game resembles the game of Devin Short and a little bit of Elijah Noah. He combines physicality and athleticism to his game. Going to be a great player. Probably not going to get too many minutes this year, but that's as most rookies go in rugby. You don't really see a lot of time, but the time that he has, He's going to make a massive impact, and he's going to go from there. Do you know anything about Matai Vevo?
Say that 10 times fast. I do not.
I can't say it once fast.
No, I do not.
And then we've got Charles Walsh. His play is like DeWald Donald and a little bit of Peterson. He combines scrummage power with mobility in the loose head spot. He'll be a great spot for the front five. He'll be able to move that scrum. He'll be able to run some people over, do that kind of thing. Again, these rookies probably won't get a whole lot of playing time. Those first two will, but these won't, as, again, they're not experienced. They're still learning. They're still getting mentored by certain players on the team. They'll still see minutes. They'll still make an impact, just not as strong as they could if they played more minutes. And then in 2025, Keelan Coyle was drafted in the 3rd round to the Seattle Seawolves. His play is similar to Devon Rousseau and Edward Fouch, something like that. He kicks the ball just as well as Fouch did, and he has a lot of composure and versatility on the pitch. So that's another young player that will make a large impact. He'll be able to kick a lot of extra points. He'll be able to make drop kicks. He'll also be able to score tries. He'll be a very good versatile player in the future. But for now, just not experienced yet. But once he gets that experience, he'll be a nice. And now Calvin Liluwamaga, probably butchered his last name. It's a little bit of a tough one to mention. He was drafted by the Seawolves back in 2024. Should be a great player. I'm not sure, Matt, do you know why he hasn't really seen any minutes?
He's just young. He came from Central Washington University. Before that, he was with Rainier Highlanders, which I helped yell at him as a kid. And then he came out last year after the draft. The previous year, his teammate from Central, Marcus, also got drafted. So it's pretty cool. They all know each other. And then, of course, he comes to Seattle. He's done some assemblies. He did one at his high school, Auburn High School, just down the street, and got in front of his peers and represented rugby and how he made it through college through playing. And so it's really, he was a rookie last year. A lot of mentoring going on, practicing. He's around a lot of greatness. Who just pick a person around him? Dan Creel. How do you measure to that, dude? The guy is a beast. He's been playing for years. You know, he just comes from rugby in general. And then you got Mark Burnett that's right there with him. Mark Burnett is from Scotland. He's represented Scotland at the highest level too. That guy's got 170 plus caps overall. The guy just has forgotten more about rugby than a lot of these young bloods will ever know. He's excited to be here too. But Calvin, he's got a killer spirit. I can't wait for him to get on the pitch. I'm excited to get behind him and just celebrate his first cap once he gets it. So excited to see how he develops.
He also, just to add, he also won Seattle Seawolves Young Player of the Year award last year, which that's got to be kind of hard to do, not seeing any time on the field. You've got to make some sort of impact if you're going to do that.
He's really good at when he's not suited up. He moves around and interacts with fans, and he draws in people. He's a magnet. He's comfortable in his own skin. He's young and spry. Yeah, I mean, great human, very respectable again.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And then going over the whole team as a whole, the Seattle Seawolves should be quite impressive. Matt, if you wanted to bring up the schedule real quick.
Yes, please. I will.
Their first 2 games are against, in my opinion, lesser opponents. Should be wins. It's only a 10-game season. It's only 6 teams. We know very little about these teams, but that is, in my opinion, 2 easy wins for the Seattle Seawolves. They should be more talented, and they should just win those 2 games. Their first real contest, I think, is going to come in that week 3 against the California Legion, as both California teams were pretty darn good last year, and so that just itself forms a tough opponent. And it is the first time we'll see the Seawolves on Sunday Night Rugby.
I'm excited to see how that plays out. Seattle does have a stacked team, and they're also in South Africa right now practicing with the Stormers. So, I mean, they're playing with a Super Rugby club. So that, they're going to come fierce. They're going to come off that plane here in a couple weeks. They're going to have their first preseason game against the Harpooners, and then they're going to jump right into DC as a home game on a Friday night. Should be real good energy, and then travel across the country, go beat each other up on the pitch for anthem. So that'll be cool. And then California, which they're supposed to play in LA, if I remember right, for that one.
It's pretty much an away game for both teams, really, that California Legion game, because California only plays at all of their stadiums once, if I'm not mistaken. So
You're correct. Yeah.
It's essentially an away game for both teams. Very tough matchup there. Tough for the Legion and tough for the Seawolves, just because the Legion have great players and the Seawolves have great players. That should be a great game.
Yeah, we touched on California last week. So anybody listening, go back to us last week and listen to how we broke that down in their stadiums.
And we'll be doing a deeper dive in a couple of weeks. Just a little bit of forecasting there if anybody cares to keep following. But yeah, that's the Seattle Seawolves. I expect 7 or so wins out of them. If I were a betting man, I'd say over 6.5. I think 7 or higher should be their goal. And really, that should be a playoff berth. There's only 4 teams that make the playoffs this season, if I'm not mistaken. And 7 teams is definitely going to be better than half the teams in the league.
Who do you think they're going to be beat by? Because you're leaving. I love it because I'm going to egg you on. So they got 10 games. They say they're going to win 6.5. So let's say they lose 3 games. 4th one is kind of like a joker card.
I think they lose one of the matchups to the Free Jacks, one of the matchups to the Hounds, and then one of the matchups is it's going to be one of those weeks where the Seawolves just don't fully show up that week. Like, it's one of those games that we should beat them. We've been really good the past couple of weeks, and then what happened to our team? Exactly. I think that'll be the 3rd loss, probably the last loss. If there is a 4th, it'll be another one of those situations where they should win, but again, it could be opening week of the season. They just didn't show up, or it could be final week of the season where they already have their playoff locked. So what's it matter kind of thing. So rest your starters. See your backups play. Your backups might lose to a bunch of starters trying to make playoffs. So it could be a very interesting season on the Seattle Seawolves side.
Love it. Next one is DC, huh?
The good old Glory, who lots of age. They're very old, but they also have some youth. But for the most part, they are old. Roster picture. There we go. All right. So let's start with Bob Hartley, coming out of the lock position, one of the captains of the team. Well, actually, the captain of the team, not one of them. There are 2 vices and a full captain. Rob Hartley's had a lot of experience with the team. He's played in over, is that right? He's played over 1,000 minutes for the team just last season. So he's on the pitch all of the time. That's a whole lot of minutes. It's exhausting being a big man. I'll tell you what, I'm a big man that just started playing rugby. And playing rugby as a big man is exhausting. You feel dead after every game. Not even after every game. After every half, you feel dead. So I don't know how they do it, but they do.
You said 1,000 minutes, right?
Just last season, over 1,000 minutes.
That's 12.5 games playing the full game.
That's nuts. That's brutal. Like that's got to hurt. And he made it to and they made it to the playoffs, so there are probably more minutes there. So yeah, that's a lot of minutes.
It's cool.
And then let's move on to Tavita Nakali, something like that. The other lock, or one of the other locks, I should say. He has played in 71 of the team's 89 total matches, so he's been there for quite some time. He starts in majority of them. He's usually starting when he's playing. He's almost got 5,000 career minutes. Matt, what's the math on that?
Yeah, buddy, let's go with that. All right, so let's go. That'd be 62.5 full games.
That's a lot of games. How many seasons is it? Well, in a 16-game season, let's say, how many seasons is that? That's almost 4 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm not great at math.
You divide those by 16, like you did last year, that would have been 4 seasons. Yeah, 3.9.
That's crazy. Good for it. And if the seasons are 10 games like they are this year, that's 6 full seasons. So
It's
lots
hard
of
to get in
rugby
those
played under
minutes.
those locks.
Yeah. Yeah, big men, long time. That's pretty rare for the forwards, honestly.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They've got young guys and they've got old guys, but those old guys, they're experienced, which is dangerous in the game of rugby, and that means chemistry. And chemistry in a 10-game season can be very pivotal, especially early on. They should be very good early, but then maybe fall off as they get older, as they like last season. I was going to mention this later, but like last season, they were very injured, and that's probably why they didn't do so well late in the season. Moving on, let's go to our next player. We've got Connor Buckley, one of the scrum halves. He is likely going to be the starting scrum half for the Old Glory this season. In 2025, he won that starting job. He started 13 games out of the total of 15, played in 886 minutes, so not as many as the previous guys, but he's also younger, and he also just won the starting job. So it sounds like the team trusts him, and it sounds like he should be moving on up, gaining his minutes, playing more games, starting more games. He also earned himself an MLR honorable mention, being one of the best players in the league. It actually means he's one of the top 3 scrum halves in the league, which when you have that on your team, combined with the veteran leadership, combined with the youth, Old Glory, as not great as I expect them to be, they can be one of those teams that really surprises us. They can be either really, really good or not so good. We'll see what happens with them. Jason Robertson, one of their fly halves. He had a serious leg injury last year, so hopefully he can recover from that. It's never easy returning from a leg injury, especially as a player on a rugby team, because rugby is one of those games where you get hurt once, especially in a leg injury, you may never come back to full capability. He's a very good player. He's also getting older. He played in all 17 matches in 2024. He started all but 2 of them, and he played almost 1,300 minutes, all of which are career highs. So in 2024, he really had his best season. But again, last year's leg injury, we'll see how he recovered. We'll see how he does this season and go from there. They do have a great young guy, Max Schumacher, who should be just fine if Jason Robertson isn't fully healthy. He played in every one of Houston's games last year. He played for the Houston SaberCats last season. He spent a total of almost 1,200 minutes on the pitch, scoring 5 tries, including a try in the MLR final. One of the MLR final scorers was Max Schumacher. That's pretty cool. It was scoring in the championship game in the sports you play. That's got to be a dream that a lot of these rugby players have.
Later.
Moving on from that, we've got a man by the name of Jason Emery, one of the centers, probably the starting center, usually the inside center, but last season he did cover for Jason Robertson. So majority of the time last year was played at the fly half. He has won a shield in his career, so he's got that veteran leadership again. Old Glory's got a lot of old guys. Old Glory's got a lot of that experience, and they should be a pretty darn good team because of all of their experience. And then next, we've got Jordan Jackson Hope. I love a man with 2 last names. It's one of those things that you just feel like he's going to be good at something just because he has 2 last names. I know as cliche or as whatever word you want to put there that sounds, it's just true. He missed last season due to an injury. Again, another guy who was hurt for Old Glory. In 2024 was his last full season. In 2023 and 24, he's got a combined almost 2,000 minutes, scoring 8 tries in 25 matches. Those were his first 2 years in the league. And again, it'll be him likely starting in that lineup for Old Glory. Now, moving on to the backs, we've got Damian Hoyland and Perry Humphreys, one of the vice captains, Perry Humphreys. Damian Hoyland is playing over 1,000 meters gained in 2024, good for over 9 meters per carry. He was a difficult man for opposing defenses to bring down, averaging 3.7 defenders beaten per match, which is a lot of guys when you only carry the ball not as many times as you would think. And then last season, he gained over 1,000 meters and scored just a single try, but he was assisting a lot of tries. And once you get to the try zone, once you get inside the 5 meter line, you're not really looking for your backs to score. For the most part, you don't want to see your back score when you have the ball inside the 5, unless it's one of those breakaways because they're just too little and nimble to get through those big men that they'll have to get through. Now, Perry Humphreys, going back to him, vice captain at 31 years old. Again, another guy with a lot of experience on the MLR. He was better as a younger player, but still very good, just not as fast or as nimble as he used to be. Age gets to us all. I'm 29. I'm getting close to 30. I'm scared, to be entirely honest, because from what I've heard, it's scary once you get to the other side of 30. He'll likely be a teacher for the young players that the Old Glory had. He should be very good for that team, especially as a veteran leader. And going over just the outlook of the season, Matt, if you could pull up the schedule, thank you, sir. They get the Seattle Seawolves in week 1 or week 2, technically, but in their week 1, that should be a good, hard matchup for them. Unfortunately, I don't see them winning that one. And then they get to revisit their rivalry with the Free Jacks. Unfortunately, again, I don't see them winning that one. But week 4, I think they can dominate the Anthem. Anthem might surprise us, but Old Glory still has that veteran leadership with that youth, and they should be able to take some of the wins. I think Old Glory finishes with, unfortunately, about 3 or 4 wins. But like Matt said earlier, we all have different predictions. We all have different perspectives. I know he used that word. And we really don't know what's going to happen in a 10-game season with 6 teams.
True that. Can share some light on that, can't we? I was doing the mathises earlier, and we had 11 teams last season, right? And then we had 36 per team, so we had a total of 396 roughly. And now this year we got 6 teams, so nearly half teams, and they brought down the roster down to 32, which makes a total of 192. So we're a little bit less than half this season for the talent pool, which there's been a lot of retirement because of it. But that just means we're going to have better rugby is what I'm hearing.
I don't know how much we mentioned this earlier or if we mentioned this at all. The quantity over quality of the season is going to be crazy. I don't know. Like, for those that believe in quantity over quality, I feel like that's most of us. It's going to be the quantity or the quality of these players is going to be outrageous. The quantity is much smaller, but the quality is going to be fantastic.
Amen. Well, that's our predictions for those 2 teams, huh?
Yes, sir.
I guess people have to stick around for the next episode to see what we predict for the next week and what happens.
We have 4 teams left. Unfortunately, only 4 teams left.
That's all right. It's fun. And it gives a chance to shine some light on some players. So that's pretty cool.
Next week, we do see Chicago and the Free Jacks. Just a little preview for those that want to tune in for next week's episode. It'll be the Chicago Hounds and the New England Free Jacks going over next week.
Great decision. Last year, they were battling out for the East Coast.
Yep. That rivalry will be fun to revisit for sure.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see him play in Nashville and battle it out later this season.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time this week, and I'll see you in a week, sir. Thank you.
Sounds good, Matt. I love being here. It's been a blast. Let's keep it going.
Amen, brother. Amen. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
Love rugby? So does Matt. He is host of the Rugby 100 Club podcast, where Major League Rugby stars tell their stories. But it's more than a podcast, it's a passport. Rugby 100 Club builds epic fan trips to follow your team on the road. Game day tickets? Included. Tailgates and fan meetups? You bet. Unforgettable memories every single time. Rugby 100 Club, where fandom meets the road.